.0, reconvene open session, procedural business, 5:30 p.m. 6.1, call to order. The Board of Trustees are hereby reconvening open session at 5:37 p.m. 6.2, roll call. Trustees to identify themselves by first and last name, formally established quorum. Dana Ridland, Area 2. Cindy Gardner, Area 3.
Jordan Zarate, trustee area 5.
Bill Mellinger, trustee area 1, and I will need to be leaving tonight at about 6:10 for a commitment that was made over a year ago.
Natalie Lindemann, trustee area 4.
Okay, 6.3, Pledge of Allegiance, led by Mr. Smith.
And remember, I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
7.0, closed session report. 7.1, announcement of reportable actions taken during closed session. None. 8.0, public testimony. Do we have any? No. None. Okay. 8.3, RTA and CSEA representatives. None at this time. Okay. 9.0, governing board members reports and announcements. 9.1, governing board members. Oh, we're from the outside.
Okay, so we're going to keep our comments brief tonight. I just wanted to say that we hope everyone has a nice summer vacation. Enjoy your family. Hopefully you can get your kiddos still engaged in some learning activities throughout the summer, some reading and writing for them. And just basically be safe, be healthy, and we look forward to seeing you for the next school year.
Thanks, Natalie. Bill?
So as I mentioned, I have a meeting. We have the Rotary Club demotion tonight, and it's one of the many other activities that we're involved in the community. And so stay well, stay involved, and God bless each of you.
Thank you, Bill. Jordan?
Good evening. I wanted to say happy summer, and why don't we talk school finances this summer? Wouldn't that be fun? Why don't you email someone from the board here? You can email any one of us, or give us a call, or you can come see me at the farmers market. I'll be there this weekend to talk fun things like the state budget or the school budget. So thank you.
Thank you, Jordan. Cindy?
I just want to thank everybody for all the work they did this year and through all the frustrations. Have a great summer. I know that we all deserve a break and hope it's fun. Hope you whoop it up. Something fierce. So thanks very much.
Thank you, Cindy. And for my comments, repeating what everybody has said, definitely grateful for all of the efforts that we've had this past hard school year. Enjoy the summer. Take care, be healthy, and let's come back fierce in the fall. So, like that word. Okay, cool. And 9.2, superintendent.
I actually have a couple of little things that we're working on. Our summer school is in session and ESY is in session. So thank you to our administrators and teachers who are doing that work this summer. I do have 2 weeks off in July, so I'm looking forward to those first 2 weeks of July. We have been working in cabinet on ESSER 3 funds and the safe reopening plan that has to be posted before July 23rd. It is contradictory to the plans made in the state of California, so it's been interesting writing something that meets federal requirements while California's requirements for returning to a safe in-person instruction is different. We will give announcements to employees and then to families as they become concrete. Right now, they are not concrete plans from our state. So we anticipate changes until July 31st, and then we'll update our families on what in-person instruction will look like. As of last week, They have stated that masks will be required for all students and all staff, no matter if vaccinated or unvaccinated in K-12 setting. However, that is subject to change. So we will update the community when we know for sure what our rules are going to be. And then the rest of my week this week, I have worked with the high school staff to submit an application for a CSBA Golden Bell Award, which we're excited to have the opportunity to bring home the bell if we were considered. So I don't believe that Rim has ever had one. So excited to recognize our ROP and CT program for their hard work. And hopefully, cross your fingers, we'll hear positive news sometime in the fall. And everyone stay safe, have fun, and please do some relaxing.
Thank you. 10.0, reports and presentations. 10.1, student learning and achievement. Local control and accountability plan, LCAP, local measures and report on progress of goals. Hardworking Heather Dominguez, Director of Educational Services.
All right, I'm gonna talk fast.
All right, fight on, girl.
Fight on, fight on.
Fight on.
There we go. So as you know, this evening we'll be approving the LCAP budget, the LCAP document, and one of the requirements is that we also talk about the LCAP local indicators at the same time that those things are approved. So I'm going to go through what the local indicators are, some of the things we have looked at here in RIM. So next, I have power. I think. Oh, there we go. All right, so some of the components that are supposed to inform the development of the LCAP, different indicators would be, first of all, lessons learned from our prior year. Stakeholder engagement is to be considered. Local indicators, state indicators, and local data all are used to inform the LCAP to focus on improved outcomes. So indicators by priority areas. We have talked a lot about the state indicators, and we know that many of those have been suspended this year because of the CASC not taking place, the LPAC not taking place. A lot of those did not happen this school year. And our California School Dashboard is very different than it had in years past. So you'll see there the priority areas that the state has identified, what indicators are required. So the first column are the state indicators. Those are some of the more academic, although there are other things in there as well. And then the right side, which I've highlighted, are the local indicators, which is what we'll be referring to this evening. Here's a list of those by priority area. So these are the 10 local indicators that are required. The last two are only at the state level, and we are not required to report on those at the local level.
So it's 4 and 5, priorities 4 and 5.
9. Priorities 9 and 10.
Priorities 4 and 5.
Those are indicators that are measured through the state indicators and not through the local indicators. We anticipate that the local indicators will be reported in November of 2021 for the 2021 California School Dashboard. So we'll be reporting on the outcomes this evening, but then I will go into the system in November and actually formally report them, and they'll be displayed when the dashboard is released, usually in December or January. So priority 1, basic conditions at school. This would be our Williams reporting and any Williams complaints that we have received, which we have been fortunate to not have received any Williams reporting complaints. So that will be reported under this priority 1. Priority 2 is the implementation of state and academic standards. And in your packet, you have a document that looks like this. This is a rubric that we have been conducting over the last 4 years. And so you will see in each of the little boxes there where we scored on the rubric based on the input from those who took the survey. The people we have take the survey are principals, our instructional support teams, our grade level leaders, and that's the group that we have take it. And so then I just report the outcomes of that based on the.
Heather, where can they find that?
We don't have
You don't have this?
it. No, it's not.
It's in, it was a 10.
Is it in the shared?
I think it's actually in the board agenda, where the board agenda item is for local indicators. It's in that area. And I can always email you a copy of it as well if you would like me to do that. So I highlighted in green where we scored this year for the 2021 school year. And you'll be able to see that in some areas we remain the same, some areas we improved, and some we went backwards a little bit. The next component is parent and family engagement. For that, we have a couple of rubrics or tools that we use to determine. First of all is our Kelvin surveys. So I have put the data for the very last Kelvin survey that we administered in May, which shows the summary as well as each of the dimensions and where how we scored overall. In addition to that, I've included the actual questions that were asked, so that you can see what questions the parents responded to, the families responded to, which came up with the summary data that was on the first slide. In addition to that, there's also a state rubric that we conduct, which is called Building Relationships. And it looks very much like this one for the implementation of standards. And this is the baseline for this particular rubric because it's a new one the state has established. So we will just have our 1920 data, and we have not administered it since then as a result of the pandemic. The priority 6 local measure is our Kelvin data again, which you will see the results for our staff and for our students. We looked at the same dimensions. And I put them side by side so that you could kind of see the difference between what the staff is indicating in terms of the responses and what our students are saying on the right side. So it's a way of looking at, sometimes it's interesting to see how different groups perceive the questions or respond to them. That's something that we look at in our PBIS meetings to say, our staff is saying this and our kids are saying this. Some of the questions, some of the areas, there was a little bit of disconnect in terms of our students scoring them lower than our staff was scoring them. So those are conversations we have as a part of our PBIS work. Heather, hold on. Yes. Ooh, this is I know that we strive for a 50% participation rate. So as part of that discussion with our PBS and our principals, is that discussion also how are we going to increase our parent and student participation? Because I know that at the high schools there was a little drop in that last survey. Actually, it's something that came up in our LCAP stakeholders meeting, and we had some recommendations at the student level to have perhaps a particular class designated as the class that administers the survey. So that way we know that all the kids go through an English class, or all the kids go through a math class, or whatever the class may be. English kind of gets designated a lot, so we may want to designate a different content area. Maybe social studies, would be utilized for that. So that would help up the staff, the student participation, because it would be more controlled rather than just the boogie dog popping up randomly. So that was one recommendation. In terms of the families, family engagement is something we continue to, focus. We've all talked about the need for us to want more parents to participate, because if we don't have their voice and their input, it's hard for us to be responsive. So messaging that as much as possible. I think if we get the kids to participate more, we can also leverage the kids as an opportunity to say, hey, mom and dad, there's this little boogie dog that comes up and the school would really love to hear your insights. So maybe pairing those together, but those are things we are talking about. We want that participation rate up. The next local indicator is broad course of study. And in this, we have to write a narrative that describes the courses that we offer to show that we are meeting the requirements in terms of ed code and the different courses that we are required to offer. So this is indicating that we are offering those courses that are required. The last thing prior to saying thank you for your time and attention is you may have heard or read that, in fact, School Services just released an article about the LCAP related to some things that were brought up against the San Bernardino County Office of Education and their oversight of their LCAP process. The CDE ruled in that matter recently and found a couple of areas that they needed to look at the LCAPs a little more closely, I suppose, in terms of the monitoring component. One of the areas they didn't find validity to. We are all anticipating across the county, and Jenny and I are both hearing this from not only the educational services side of the house, but also the budget side of the house, that particularly San Bernardino County LCAPs will probably be looked at with a little more scrutiny than they have been in the past. And they are telling us to anticipate that we may have our LCAPs returned for some clarification or additional information if needed. So just wanted you as a board to know that that is something that could happen when we would have to bring the LCAP back to you in August if that is something that materializes. But just wanted to give you a heads up prior to August about that.
And that's the superintendent meeting this week.
Heather, that document that we struggled to find, could you email that to all of us? Because I think we're still searching for it. Yeah, okay. No, that's okay. Yeah, I'll just attach it and thank you. Thank you.
I believe it's under 11.16.
So item what I can do is all the documents that I brought copies of them tonight. But what I'll do is I'll just send a copy of all the different local measures that I've just referenced, and I'll attach the paper documents that I have in that way. You'll either have them twice or you'll at least have it once. So you'll have them all together in one spot. Thanks. Thank you. Did I do it? 5, 10 minutes? Yeah, okay, well.
Thank you, Heather.
Page 45. Page 45.
Long agenda.
Yeah, 51, you're looking at the big PDF.
Page 51.
Yeah.
Oh, there it is right there. Yeah. It's on, it is part of our documents that are attached to the agenda. It's on the PDF on page 51. You did it, thank you. Okay, get myself together here. All right, 11.0 action calendar, 11.1 superintendent approval to revise board policy BP 6146.1 high school graduation requirements and administrative regulation AR 5121 grades evaluation of student achievement to our policies and procedures. These revisions are necessary due to the COVID-19 pandemic. Fiscal impact none. Approve as revised under agenda item 2.1. Do I have a motion? So moved. Cindy? Second. Natalie? Discussion? No discussion? Call for a vote. All in favor? Aye. All opposed? Motion passes unanimously. 11.2 superintendent approval to ratify the associate superintendent's amended contract of employment that expires on June 30th, 2024. Fiscal impact none. Do I have a motion? So moved.
So moved.
Natalie?
Second.
Bill? Discussion? Calling for a vote, all in favor? Aye. All opposed? Motion passes unanimously. Actually, I was both, if we can back up a moment, I have seen that it was after the motion.
It's supposed to be after the motion.
It's supposed to be after the motion for it, after the motion. Okay, so backing up a moment, I'm going to, we've had the motion by Natalie and seconded by Bill. Let me read a little bit first, we'll revisit the vote. Pursuant to Government Code Section 54943, Subdivision C3, the board provides this oral summary of the salary and or fringe benefit increase recommendation for the following local agency executive. Bullet point position, associate superintendent, and bullet point add a 4-step salary schedule effective July 1st, 2020. Step 1 of the salary schedule includes the 3% management salary schedule increase that was effective July 1st, 2020 and approved at the May 6th, 2021 board meeting. Each additional step includes a 3% increase. There are no other elements of compensation. So are revisiting this motion, is there any discussion? Then let's go ahead and do a revote. All in favor? Aye. All opposed? Motion passes unanimously. 11.3, Superintendent, approval to ratify the chief business official amended contract of employment that has been extended from June 30th, 2024 to June 30th, 2025. Fiscal impact none. Do I have a motion?
So,
Was that Jordan?
second.
And seconded by Bill. Let me read a little bit first before calling for discussion. Pursuant to government.
You're reading us. Yay.
Pursuant to Government Code, Section 54953, Subdivision C3, the board provides this oral summary of the recommended one-year extension to the chief business official, CBO, contract of employment. Bullet point, the term of the amended employment contract between Rim of the World Unified School District and chief business official, CBO, Jenny Haberman, shall be through June 30th, 2025. The change in the annual salary reflects the 3% management salary schedule change effective July 1st, 2020, and approved at the May 6th, 2021 board meeting. There are no other elements of compensation. So now is there any discussion? I'm going to call
Just, I
for,
believe that she is worth this. This is worthy of her being played this way, and I appreciate what Jenny's doing for us.
okay. Then let me go ahead and call for the vote. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion passes unanimously. 11.4, Personnel Services, approval to ratify the superintendent's amended contract of employment that expires on June 30th, 2024. Fiscal impact none.
So moved.
Bill?
Second.
Natalie? And can you read this? Pursuant to Government Code Section 54943, Subdivision C3, the board provides this oral summary of the salary and/or fringe and benefit increase recommendation for the following local agency executive. Full point, position superintendent, and then full point to add a 4-step salary schedule effective July 1st, 2020. Step 1 of the salary schedule includes the 3% management salary schedule increase that was effective July 1st, 2020, and approved at the May 6th, 2021 board meeting. Each additional step includes a 3% increase. The bullet point annual vacation days were increased from 20 to 24 days. There are no other elements of compensation. Is there any additional discussion?
I just want to say that I think for both our associate and our superintendent, that we're doing what we need to do. That starts to line them up somewhat with where our other staff is with steps. But it also says, look, you're doing a tough job and we're going to need to do an even tougher job as we move towards the future. So thank you.
What I would also add to that, especially related to the vacation days, is in this position, one of the things I've been surprised by is how many weekends are just, as a matter of course, a part of your regular schedule. And those aren't counted. There isn't comp time necessarily there. So in order to be able to do a job justice, you need to have that time away and that separation that's required to maintain perspective. So I think in terms of having effective leadership, it's imperative that you have those days off. So I'm glad that we've made it contractual, or we are making it contractual. So any other comments?
Just like we're trying to do for teachers and trying to square up the salary schedule, we're trying to do the same with these contracts in terms of bringing them more in alignment with those in surrounding districts and districts comparable to ours. And this is just one of those steps, is both the compensation as well as the vacation days and the work days. We worked with county, with 2 representatives from county to look at the terms of other contracts and really work to make sure that we were in the middle. There you go, we're in the middle, so it's great, it's better than where we were in terms of valuing our superintendent, associate superintendent, or their CEO.
Okay, so calling for the vote. All in favor? All opposed? Motion passes unanimously. 11.5, Personnel Services, approval of the personnel page, fiscal impact budgeted. So moved. Cindy?
Second.
Natalie? Any discussion? Okay, then moving on to the vote, all in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion passes unanimously. 11.6, Personnel Services, approval of the declaration of need for fully qualified educators, Form CL 500, for the term of July 1st, 2021 through June 30th, 2022, fiscal impact none.
So moved.
Natalie, second. Cindy, any discussion? Okay, then let's go ahead and vote. All in favor? All opposed? Motion passes unanimously. 11.8, Personnel Services, approval of the California School Employees Association, CSEA, proposals for negotiations, sunshine statement, for the 2021-2022 school year.
You skipped one.
Oh, I did.
Yeah.
Oh, I wrote the, wrong time. I'm sorry about that. So backing up 11.7, I wrote, it's on the wrong one there. Personnel Services, thanks, Cindy. Approval of the joint sunshine agreement between Rim World Unified School District and Rim Teachers Association, RTA. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
So.
Natalie? And Bill, second. Okay, any discussion? I'm calling for the vote. All in favor? All opposed? Motion passes unanimously. Okay, 11.8. Personnel Services, approval of the California School Employees Association, CSEA, proposals for negotiations, sunshine statement for the 2021-2022 school year, fiscal impact none. So moved. Cindy?
Natalie.
Natalie, any discussion? Okay, calling for the vote. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion passes unanimously. 11.9, Personnel Services, approval of the World Unified School District's proposals for negotiations, sunshine statement with the California School Employees Association, CSEA, for the 2021-2022 school year, fiscal impact none. So moved. Cindy? Jordan? Is that Jordan?
Yeah.
Any discussion? Okay, I'm calling for the vote. All in favor? All opposed? Motion passes unanimously. 11.10, Personnel Services. Approval of the Memorandum of Understanding, MOU, between California Schools Employees Association, CSAA, and Rim of the World Unified School District to increase the daily hours of the listed healthy clerk positions from 3.7 hours per day to 6 hours per day, effective August 10th, 2021 through June 10th, 2022. Fiscal impact, approximately $83,928. Unrestricted general fund, personnel, COVID funds.
So moved.
Is that Bill? Second. Cindy? Any discussion? Okay, calling for the vote. All in favor? All opposed? Motion passes unanimously. 11.11, Personnel Services, approval of the Memorandum of Understanding, MOU, between California Schools Employees Association, CSCA, and Rim of the World Unified School District to provide 2 professional development days for classroom paraprofessionals in the 2021-2022 school year. Fiscal impact, approximately $11,468.00. Unrestricted general fund, personnel, COVID funds. So moved. Cindy? Jordan? Discussion? Calling for the vote. All in favor? All opposed? Motion passes unanimously. 11.12, Personnel Services, approval of the Memorandum of Understanding, MOU, between California Schools Employees Association, CSEA, and Rim of the World Unified School District to provide hiring incentives for hard-to-fill classified positions, effective June 11th, 2021 through September 30th, 2021. Fiscal impact, approximately $5,000 unrestricted general fund, personnel, COVID funds. So moved. Cindy?
Second.
that Bill?
Bill.
Any discussion? Calling for the vote, all in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion passes unanimously. 11.13, Personnel Services, approval of the memorandum of understanding, MOU, between Rim Teachers Association, RTA, and Rim of the World Unified School District to hire additional teachers beyond current contract staffing ratios for the 2021-2022 school year. Fiscal impact approximately $1,122,720.00. Unrestricted general fund, personnel COVID funds. So moved. Cindy. Natalie. Discussion. Calling for the vote. All in favor? Aye. All opposed? Motion passes unanimously. 11.15, educational services. 14, I voted on the wrong one again. Dang. Okay. Okay. 11.14, personnel services, approval of the memorandum of understanding between Rim Teachers Association, RTA, and Rim of the World Unified School District regarding staffing ratios and extra duty pay for Rim Virtual Academy teachers. Fiscal impact to be determined, unrestricted general fund, personnel COVID funds. So moved. Cindy.
Second.
Natalie. Any discussion? Calling for the vote, all in favor? Aye. All opposed? Motion passes unanimously. Now 11.15. Educational Services, approval of the single plan for student achievement, SPSA, for Charles Hoffman, Lake Arrowhead, and Valley Chapman Elementary Schools, Mary P. Hank Middle School, Rim High, and Mountain High Schools for the 2021-22 school year. Fiscal impact? None. So moved. Cindy?
Second.
Bill, any discussion? Calling for the vote, all in favor? Aye. All opposed? Motion passes unanimously. 11.16, educational services, approval of local control and accountability plan, LCAP, local measures annual reporting, fiscal impact none.
So moved.
Bill, second. Cindy, discussion.
Thank you, Heather. And it was fun to be a part of that process this year. And very educational. Appreciate it.
Excellent, okay. Calling for the vote, all in favor? Aye. All opposed? Motion passes unanimously. 11.17, educational services, approval of local control and accountability plan, LCAP, Every Student Succeeds Act, ESSA, federal addendum, fiscal impact?
So
None.
moved.
Bill? Second. Cindy? Discussion? Calling for the vote, all in favor? Aye. All opposed? Motion passes unanimously. 11.18, educational services, approval of annual update to the local control and accountability plan, LCAP, for the 2021-22 school year. Fiscal impact none.
So moved.
Was it Natalie?
Bill and Natalie.
Bill. Okay. Moved by Bill, seconded by Natalie. Discussion.
I want to thank you, Heather, just all of the work on LCAP and all of these new addendums that you're doing and massaging it to fit everything else. Just, we know that your staff, Gina, she's awesome as well. So just thank both of you and everybody else that you come and contact Ginny and her department that needs to fit the budget in there. Of course you're a Trojan. That's why it's so awesome. That's why you rock. So there you go. I need not say anything else if I want to.
I'll have so many comments on Gina.
Yeah,
Thank you, Heather. Yeah. Okay, further discussion? Calling for the vote, all in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion passes unanimously. 11.19, business services, approval of the educational protection, the education protection account, resolution number 20/21-15. Fiscal impact not to exceed $2,546,515.00, component of LCFF based revenue.
So moved.
Natalie?
Second.
Bill? Discussion? Calling for the vote, all in favor? Aye. All opposed? Motion passes unanimously. 11.20, business services. Approval of lease agreement with Mountain Resorts Theater LLC for a 2-year term. Physical impact approximately $54,000, 0 cents, unrestricted general fund rental revenue.
So moved.
Second, Cindy. Any discussion?
Looking forward to the movies.
Thank you, Jenny.
Okay.
They've started.
Really
The
tough.
sound is in my.
I gotta go.
Okay, fantastic. Okay, and for the record, Bill is leaving at this point. 6:12. At 6:12, yes. Okay. All right, so, calling for the vote. All in favor? Aye. All opposed? Motion passes unanimously. Is that a unanimous without an abstention, right?
Yeah, you're fine.
Okay, 11.21, business services. Approval to adopt the district's proposed 2021-22 budget, fiscal impact none.
So moved.
Second, Natalie, any discussion?
Thanks, Jenny and your staff, and everybody for all the hard work. You guys put in so many hours getting this done, and I know this is your busy season, so try to take some time off, but as you go through the busy season, so thanks, Jenny.
Okay, calling for the vote, all in favor? Aye. All opposed? Motion passes unanimously. 12.0, consent calendar. Would anybody like to have any of the items from 12.1 through 12.21 hold?
May I please pull all of them? No.
Oh my God. No, give me that.
Okay.
I'm gonna give you a movie.
Okay, so do I have a motion for 12.1 through 12.21?
So moved.
Second, Natalie. Is there any discussion on any of these items?
Thanks for the donations that we got.
And grant.
Thanks,
Yay.
Ryan. Yes.
Yeah, fantastic. Okay, then I'm going to call for the vote on all of the items from 12.1 through 12.21. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion passes unanimously. So 13.0 with the items removed from the consent calendar, of which we had 0. Moving on to 14.0. Governance team future agenda items planning. 14.1, time allotted for the Board of Trustees to request agenda items for future meetings. Do we have any? I do have one, that is for the August meeting. The August meeting added an agenda item for the Equity and Social Justice Committee composition. There will be on July 23rd, we'll be having a board retreat, and then we'll also be having our Equity and Social Justice Committee meeting that day as well. So I have an opportunity to be able to report out regarding the Justice Committee composition in the August meeting. It'd be nice to be able to have that as an agenda item. Is there anything else?
No.
Okay.
Is there an action item that will be attached to that? Or is it just report or report?
Well, I think it's going to depend on how what happens during our committee meeting in July, in order for us to be able to have the opportunity to just then finalize or further that discussion.
Good to prepare for, you know.
Now,
Because if the composition's changed, I believe we have to do what we did to form a committee. So we need to go back to a regular board meeting instead of a committee.
And it would be in our reports and presentation section.
No,
the agenda?
yeah, the report section.
Yeah, yes.
good point.
Thank you.
Okay, then moving on to 15.0, future meeting dates. Board retreat, July 23rd, 2021 at 9:00 a.m. YouTube limited in-person attendance at the RIM High School Library here. Regular board meeting, August 19th, 2021 at 5:30 p.m. YouTube limited in-person attendance at the RIM High School Library. All future meetings will be held via YouTube, and there will be limited in-person attendance at the RIM High School Library for the public until executive orders change regarding gatherings.
Should we let people know that those orders will change in October back to what would it say, regular board meetings with all comments, people having to come before the board in person.
Cool. Okay, 16.0, recess to closed session if necessary. It is not necessary. So I'm jumping to 17.0, adjournment.
I make a motion to adjourn this meeting at 6:16 PM.
Second. So there's no discussion?
No.
Calling for the vote, all in favor?
I
Aye. All opposed?